Throughout my time in Iraq, Syria, Ukraine, even the Marine Corps, there's a lot of bootleg life hacks that I've learned. And the first one I want to say is a flashlight taped to my rifle.
What a great fucking channel.
$5 Chinese flashlight. Okay. Waterproof, rechargeable, you put battery in them, and LEDs. So it's not,
What?
It's not this black.
Now, he never said which brands he used, so I went ahead and looked for ones that are very common, don't have a strobe, and have a big tail cap button, which led me to test these X17 zoomable ones branded as Heinz gear. They come with a zoomable head, push to click on button, and most importantly, one mode. I've run them over and the lens popped out, but I was able to put it back in. And because I beat the ever-living shit out of one, I decided to duct tape one to a rifle. So I dropped it on a rock for, say, the 5th time, and the body dented so bad that I can't take off the tail cap to replace the battery. And even though this thing could take 3 AAAs, an 18650, or 2 CR123s, I would rather you get this version from Harbor Freight. It's the same flashlight, just bigger and more robust. Apparently it's 800 lumens, which I kinda doubt, but the light is definitely usable. You can also focus in the beam tighter to punch a tiny bit further. The only problems I have with it is it's push to click on. And if you've seen my Streamlight Momentary mod video, you know I'm not a fan of this. So, to fix this, unscrew the tail cap and set it down on a flat surface. Get a marker cap and set it over the button and hammer out the internals gently. The switch assembly will come out. Separate the pieces from the black button and put it off to the side. Take the button assembly and pry the metal piece on the bottom out of the way. Then take a knife or something flat to pry it apart as shown. Remove this silver little button and take out these little white pieces stacked on top of one another. Take this piece that has teeth all around it and file them away. It's a little hard to see, so this graphic should give you a better visual of what we are doing. Keep filing them down until the piece spins around in that female end freely without getting caught up. Stack the 2 pieces and insert it back into the black top piece. Be sure to insert the tabs in the slots. Stack the silver little button back in, then attach the short connection and the long connection. Then, in a delicate balancing act, snap the bottom piece back on, then pry that long piece back over. Stack the spring and brass thing back into the white thing, then stick the mechanism back together. Push this assembly back into the tail cap and make sure it works. Then take it back out and put a bead of E6000 glue all around it. Then gently tap it back into place. Clean up the excess with a Q-tip and now you're momentary only. But you still got that stupid ass strobe mode. Luckily, I found a way to disable it. So take out the batteries and look at the front bezel. There's a plastic ring on the inside here holding the lens in place. Take something flat and jam it under here and pry it out. It's gonna take some effort, so use pliers to pluck it out once you get some space. Other versions can just simply unscrew. Regardless, take out the lens and steal your girl's tweezers again, and insert the 2 ends as shown. Then unscrew this piece from the body. Push out this piece and look at the spring side. Take something small and gently pry up to reveal the circuit board underneath. Now, I don't know shit about electronics, but what I do know is that little gold looking thing is responsible for this stupid fucking strobe mode. So take a pencil and literally just draw over it. Apparently we are discharging the capacitor with the graphite, but I know that I don't know what that means, so just do it and put it back in like this. Screw it back into the body like this and make sure it works. If it didn't, take it apart and put more lead on it. Once you're good, put it back in the head like this. And push it flat all the way to the bottom and screw it back into the body. Plop the lens back into place, followed by the O-ring, and put a bead of clear E6000 around the rim as neat as you can. Then, beat the plastic ring back into place. Clean up the excess with a Q-tip, let it dry, and now you got a $10 tactical Guerilla flashlight. This is 100% not my first choice when it comes to a tactical light, but after 200 rounds, it does work well enough for me to say if it's all you got, you can definitely make it work. If you add up the cost of the tools, glue, and time spent doing this, I'm sure it all adds up to $30 anyway. So instead, get this Athlete's Surefire Scout knockoff. This is the same light that Dirty Civilian and this guy reviewed. And we as well can confirm this thing is legit. We beat the ever-living shit out of it and it still works. But this tape switch and UE thing is most definitely the point of failure on this thing. And I can't figure out a way to make this tail cap it comes with momentary only. So find a friend who bought a real Surefire and do him a favor for his TAILCAP he's probably just got laying around. Otherwise, just find one used for like 20 bucks. If you look at the button, you will see 2 notches. Take something small and stiff and unscrew it as shown. Take out the threaded portion and take off the rubber boot, as well as this button assembly. Gently take out this silver metal thing, followed by this spring that just kind of wraps around this metal thing. Pry off this metal thing from these black tabs. Then pry out this plastic thing. Then this metal pizza table looking thing. And finally separate this final piece. Take off this little black piece here. And then put everything back together. Insert the big spring from the piece we just separated in first, and be wary of this tiny little spring that goes inside here. If it's not there, this will not work. Then put everything back together in reverse order. Be sure to insert the rubber boot evenly and screw it back into place. And now you got a momentary only TAILCAP. I don't know the exact lumens and candela for this light, but I would say it's a little less than an actual real Surefire M600, but not by a huge amount. It's a pretty decent weapon light and a huge upgrade from the $10 Harbor Freight light. But if you're still skeptical about the light head, you could just buy a legit Mod Light Legacy head for around 100 bucks, or any Surefire Scout head, making this whole setup $130. How much is that Streamlight again? Oh shit. But if you still think this thing is sus, you could get this Harbor Freight Tactical Light for 50 bucks. Everyone talks about mounting it to a pistol, but let me remind y'all that you can mount this 12 o'clock on an AR rail. This light is the brightest of this lineup at 1200 lumens, and it mounted 12 o'clock foregoes the need for a tape switch, and you can easily activate the switch from either side. Only downside is if you double tap the switch, it goes into strobe mode. And the switch is a little too exposed for my liking, making it susceptible to accidental discharges. So I recommend cutting the switch a little shorter to mitigate this. If you've been on GunTube for a while, you've probably seen Hop's video on a $900 light and laser combo. In that video, he used a Streamlight TLR1, and what's cool is since the Iris came out, the LS321 dropped down significantly in price, and all the switches and accessories for the Streamlight TLR1 fit on the Harbor Freight light. So theoretically, if you buy this Streamlight part number 69130 for 50 bucks, plus the Harbor Freight light for 50 bucks, combine the two and mount it 9 o'clock on a rail, mount the LS321 12 o'clock, and use the tape switch it comes with to activate the light, you got a light and laser combo for $500. But you're going to need to find a way to make the connection more secure, or get an actual Streamlight pressure pad, but that costs more money. And the backup switch is a little too sensitive for my liking, so I recommend just cutting it down a little bit as well. Overall though, I think this is the best budget weapon light you can get. But if $500 is too much, let me show you a setup that's $250. So, this is the Surefire G2 NITROLON. It's an old school flashlight that uses halogen or xenon bulbs. Long story short, it's super outdated and ass compared to a cheap LED. But it is definitely usable. Streamlight sells these IR filters, and in case you didn't know, halogen or xenon bulbs emit IR light. So you could slip this over the light and have a pretty good IR output and pretty ass white light. Pair it with an XM100 TAILCAP from Surefire, plus a decent mount, and you got the Surefire M951V we have at home. But because this shit's getting outdated and rare, all these pieces add up to $225, which is not worth it. So instead, go on evike.com. They sell rebranded G2s called the Avengers on sale for $10 because nobody wants them. It's literally the same thing other than the bulb, but what's great is you could just buy legit Surefire bulbs and just drop them in. But so far we found no reason to do so other than it just being slightly brighter and having Surefire aura. And rather than buying a used Surefire TAILCAP plus a tape switch, you could just buy this Pelican 2326 tape switch for 21 bucks. Plus it's compatible with the newer G2X if you have one. And because the Streamlight rubber holder could very easily pop out the IR filter, I made this 3D printed light cap to hold the lens that could fit any 31mm circular filter snugly. I recommend sourcing actual filters that can block out 940nm, but I gave these cheap airsoft filters a try and they glow red pretty immensely. I glued in the 30mm filter in the flip cap to test out, and while the red glow is pretty noticeable in real life, I struggle to conclude whether it would be any worse than flashing a straight up white light. I'll let you decide and try out as they're only $5 for a pack of 3. So back to the $250 setup. If you get a Holosun LS117IR and mount it 12 o'clock with the G2 offset, stack the pressure pads on top of one another with the light being on top, and wrap them together with camo tape like a goober, and you got a legit $250 night setup you can easily switch to white light. I'll give more details in my upcoming Holosun LS117IR Mod torture test video if you want to learn more. Just know this whole configuration comes out to 60 bucks. So halogen and xenon bulbs emit a lot of IR light, whereas LED barely emits anything. That's why if you take the Streamlight filter and put it on an LED light, it will make it pretty useless under night vision. But just for shits and giggles, I tried the Watson filters with the white light selection from this video, and the IR performance was actually pretty usable. The following clips are recorded on a night with 66% illumination from the moon on targets at 25 meters. Take note that the phone cameras are a little more sensitive to IR light than the naked eye, so take my word that the red glow is pretty noticeable. As you can see, the Harbor Freight light is barely visible when not zoomed in. I think it's probably because of the moon, but I don't foresee anyone who can afford night vision going with this option anyway. But I figured I'd throw it in here. The $30 Amazon light is way more effective than the last one, as to be expected, but the red glow is still pretty noticeable. Same thing can be said more so with the $60 Harbor Freight light. And in case you're wondering how it looks compared to legit IR illuminators, here I show the mock-off SIR250, that Chinese IR flashlight from the Holosun video, and the Surefire G2 with the actual Streamlight filter. While they all look similar, I can assure you the camera is just picking these up more. At that distance, the red glow from the legit ones are a lot less noticeable. So, the reason I'm showing these filters is because I think they are a cool, easy way to make all your guns night vision compatible. You would just have to use them passive only. Now, for a real tactical setting, I guess the question I spring onto you is, would you rather have this shining at your enemy, or this? It's not like you're gonna shine this on a patrol as they walk up into the kill zone anyway, and for $5 for a pack of 3, I think it might be worth trying out. Let me know if you do so in the comments below. And before you go, if you find a dual output Surefire G2X, where if you click it on once and it turns to low, then click it on again and it turns to high, you can convert it to just click on to high by just cutting this connection here. And if Surefire runs out of these Momentary TAILCAPs, you could just salvage one from the mentioned Avengers light. So there you go. There's some Guerilla tactical lights for $5 to $60. If getting into this sways anyone away because of the cost, I get it. The powers that be want you financially unmotivated to worry about protecting yourself and the people around you. I hope I can at least give you a grounded starting point to grow and evolve from. Otherwise, I hope it can at least motivate and inspire you to get out there, find people you care about, and start training. So, until next time, goodbye, don't die, and have a good time.